In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at the current conditions, diving into the upcoming pattern. There is some severe weather, but still no tropical activity. Let's just get straight into things though, and first things first, we can see there is quite a bit of activity going on across the nation here. We do have some lighter to more moderate showers, and they're a lot more persistent than they have been over the past few days here for the Four Corner states. Actually, very persistent, matter of fact, from Arizona all the way up through Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming up here. We can see that down for the Gulf states and the Southeast, we have these thunderstorms that are very typical in the summertime. We see these time and time again. All the time we see these types of thunderstorms and showers around, and sure enough, we're seeing them once more. We can see that up here for the upper Midwest, we see a lot of showers and thunderstorms ongoing, even severe thunderstorms. We see that very, very large severe thunderstorm warning in there. I noticed it's larger than Rhode Island and maybe even as big as Delaware. Very, very large severe thunderstorm warning. We'll zoom in on that in a little bit. And there's another cluster of severe thunderstorms here and severe thunderstorm warnings for the Ohio Valley here, Illinois, Indiana, through all the way into Ohio. Now let's go ahead and first off take a look here at the Four Corner states. We can just see all of these showers and maybe even little thunderstorms around, especially there in Arizona might be thunderstorms. Actually, it's going to be a larger region than that. It's about like this and like that. Sorry, I'm a perfectionist here, but we see for Arizona, it looks a little bit more yellow and orange. Down there could be some thunderstorms around in that region. We do see that it lightens up as we move our way up to Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming. Much lighter showers, maybe a couple of moderate pockets in there, but definitely a little bit less intense than down there in Arizona. Regardless, quite a few areas seeing a lot of precipitation. We see as we zoom in here to the upper Midwest, we can see that there is just these thunderstorms around, showers to the north it appears, maybe north of this line looking more like showers, although it is very heavy there in northern Minnesota at times. We see pretty bad thunderstorms there near South Dakota heading into Minnesota, so that South Dakota-Minnesota border area right near I-29. We are seeing very severe thunderstorms roll through. I'm seeing a lot of pinks popping up in there indicating very heavy precipitation, if not hail, so definitely an intense situation down there. And then we see more isolated and scattered thunderstorms here behind it and south of it in here, so we're seeing that pocket as well. That's a little bit of what's going on up there in the upper Midwest. As we move down to the Gulf states, we can see that we just have a bunch of these little tiny thunderstorms that are moving up like this, and they could come on shore throughout the day today. Again, this is like an everyday thing in the summertime, so you're going to see these isolated thunderstorms be a possibility down here every single day. We can see that there is a couple of showers around here for Mississippi and Alabama in here, maybe thunderstorms, but those are just kind of hanging out. A little bit unassociated with these thunderstorms. Then we can see for the southeast coast, we see quite a few thunderstorms out to sea here as well. Now, as we move northward, we can see that the Ohio Valley is dealing with pretty bad thunderstorms in here, all the way from Chicago and Milwaukee area down through the rest of Illinois, Indiana, and even into Ohio. We're seeing these severe thunderstorms. Definitely look like they're heading towards Indianapolis and eventually Columbus and maybe Cincinnati. Might even spread far enough north to impact areas like Cleveland. We're going to have to wait and see as this area expands, but definitely looking pretty severe at this point. We can also notice that there's a couple of showers out ahead over there, and that is just what we're dealing with at this point for this region. Pretty impactful thunderstorms happening in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to take a look at the upcoming pattern as far as the storminess, the total precipitation, and temperatures, and then we'll take a look at some of that severe weather. Now here we are taking a look at that upcoming pattern. Let's take it towards this afternoon. We can see that there's still a lot of storminess happening up here in the more northern regions of the United States. We still see some of this activity down south. No surprises whatsoever, really. And as we move towards Sunday afternoon, we can see a low developing in here. We start to see that cold front that I've been talking about with you guys. We're going to see some severe weather with this, so stay tuned to the end. We'll take a look at the Storm Prediction Center, but there is definitely some severe weather expected with this. We still see some of these southeast and Gulf thunderstorms occurring at this point. As we approach Monday afternoon time frame, it's going to be the 25th. We can see that there is just this cold front dipping down just like this, horseshoeing around and bringing thunderstorms all along that frontal boundary. Definitely needs to be watched for Monday the 25th in there. we'll be watching closely. We can see there is some activity here in the four corner states once again, and still some activity underneath here for the Gulf states. Now, as we approach Tuesday afternoon, this will be approximately the 26th, we can see that there is a cold front around right here for Tuesday, so it kind of dives down a little bit further south, but there is a good fight being put up by this warmth to the south. So what we're seeing is a lot of this warmth, again, putting up a fight and causing this cold front to really slow down and bring more precipitation to these regions. It didn't move that much further south from where it was the day before, so it is at a standstill. We see that there's quite a bit of precipitation up here. We're going to see another cold front get developed. We'll see that in a minute, and then the four corner states are also dealing with some activity in there still. Now, by Wednesday afternoon, we could see that next cold front kind of trying to develop, bringing precipitation to a lot of these regions in here. Definitely another thing that needs to be watched, because any cold front this time of year can lead towards some severe weather, certainly. Now, by the time I reach Thursday, we see that surely something like this is what's going on, kind of diving down like this, bringing cold air all the way behind it. So we're seeing, and then kind of like this out ahead. This is fairly similar to what we saw before with that first cold front, but this one's going to be occurring kind of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame. So we get it in this type of a pattern, and here we are taking a look at Friday, and look at how far stretching this cold front is, impacting so many different regions with storminess, and going to bring almost fall-like temperatures to some spots. So we'll take a look at that in a little while here, but almost fall-like temperatures here. And then out ahead of this, we're going to need to be watching for those thunderstorms. And look at how it just stalls out. This is by Saturday. We see a lot of storminess throughout all of these regions. And then by Sunday afternoon, it turns into a bit of a stationary, if not even a warm front, where this warmth starts to actually put up a bigger fight than the cold. And that storminess kind of turns around. Watch it. It's heading south, heading south, heading south, and then boom, starts to head north again. Here we are Monday, August 1st. We're seeing a warm front kind of begin to move northward. So really that precipitation just hangs around, and then it turns around. It changes directions. That's going to be interesting to see when it slows down, stalls out, and then eventually changes directions. If that does occur that way, that would be very, very interesting. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the total precipitation through the next 10 days. And as you can see, if you're anywhere in the whites, we're expecting practically no precipitation. Your grays will be about 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Your greens will be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues will be 1/2 an inch to 1 inch. Your yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches. Your reds will be 2 to 5 inches. And then your browns will be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. We're seeing a lot of that for Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, southern Indiana, areas such as those regions. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to take a look at the upcoming temperature pattern. All right, now here we are taking a look at the temperature pattern. We're taking a look at day one here, which will be Saturday, July 23rd. Today, from the time of making this video, we can see that we are mostly hot outside of the cooler regions. I'm mostly just going to circle the cooler regions here because it's going to be much easier for us to just glide through this. Anywhere where I'm not circling, for the most part, it's going to be above normal temperatures compared to what's average. Let's say your average temperature, like mine, is about 88, I think, for a summertime high temperature. So if you're in the above average, you're looking at more like 90s if your average temperature was what mine is. But you have to know what your average temperature is. I think they have some good sources out there. Like I think it's called Weather Spark, where it's really easy to just put your city in and see your averages for a lot of different types of weather things. Really cool website there. Now, here we are taking a look at Sunday, July 24th. We can see that cold air comes from the north. This is that cold front developing and beginning for these regions. We see the southeast also dealing with some cooler temperatures. Everywhere else, for the most part, is warmer than normal. Now, for Monday, July 25th, we see this cold front really beginning to impact the north-central United States with some cooler temperatures. We see underneath, we also have some cooler temperatures, and still Florida, Georgia, near normal, maybe slightly below normal temperatures in there. Now, for Tuesday, July 26th, we see cooler temperatures to neutral temperatures really for a lot of the northeastern, north-central, and even a little bit of the northwestern United States if you consider Montana northwest. We see that there is some cooler temperatures for the four corner states again as well. Overall warm everywhere else. Wednesday, July 27th, we start to see warmth start to push back for the northeast at least. We see this warmth really re-entering the area. Still in between, we're dealing with mostly cooler temperatures for those areas. Northwest still very, very hot though. Now our next cold front starts to really want to push through, and this is going to bring some crazy impacts here. As we see, by the time we're reaching July 29th, we really get a lot of cooler air with this one for a lot of these areas, and it's pushing southeastward really, really quickly. Here's for Saturday, July 30th, and we see far below normal temperatures for a lot of areas. Going to bring, like I said, fall-like conditions to some spots for sure. It's going to feel nice, and definitely soak it up once this hits because, you know, we're going to get right back to the heat probably. Sunday the 31st here, we see a lot of these cooler temperatures around still, but this is when that, remember, the cold front dives down, but it's going to start to move back north again. It's going to turn around. We know that because we saw it on the precipitation. And by the time we reach Monday, we can see that the warmth is kind of pushing back right here. So this is that warm front kind of regaining some momentum here, or I guess just getting momentum in the first place here on August 1st. It's going to be a Monday there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at the upcoming severe weather and then close things out. Now here's the day one categorical outlook. This is for Saturday, July 23rd today from the time I'm making this video. If you're anywhere in the lighter greens, we have a general thunderstorm risk in there. That's where general thunderstorms are expected. Anything is possible. It's a heat every watch warning and advisory though. And in our darker green region there, that's our marginal risk area. That's where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. The yellow region there for the Ohio Valley and Upper Midwest as well as Great Lakes is our slight risk region. That's where we expect scattered severe weather to take place. And then for the Upper Midwest into the Great Lakes, we see that orange region as well within the slight risk. That is our enhanced risk region. That's where we expect widespread severe weather to become possible in there. Now for day two here, our general thunderstorm risk area there in the lighter green, that's where we expect, again, general thunderstorms, but also anything is possible, so continue to heed every watch, warning, and advisory. For the darker green region there, we have our marginal risk area. That's where we expect isolated severe weather. And then the yellow region there through the Ohio Valley into the interior northeastern United States, that is where we have a slight risk at severe weather, and that's where we expect scattered severe weather in general here for Sunday, July 24th, tomorrow from the time I'm making this video. And then for day three here, we see this cold front starts to impact the eastern United States on Monday, July 25th. We have a general thunderstorm risk expected for all of those lighter green regions. That's, again, where we expect general thunderstorms, but also anything is possible. Heed every watch, warning, and advisory. Now, the darker green region there for the eastern United States is our marginal risk area where we expect isolated severe weather. And then the yellow region there for Virginia all the way up through New England, or at least southern New England, that is where we expect, or where we have a slight risk at severe weather, and we expect scattered severe weather to take place. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6. We're still waiting on subtropical activity. It still has not occurred, so we'll have to wait even longer than originally anticipated. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting this channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Delvin Nagel, Larry the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Cadalesa, Catbite, Charles Tennant, Bill Dallas, Gary, and John Calisi also. I'd also to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.